Brought to you by Mr. Pros TV, streaming from Tempe, Arizona. And we're live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, Jordan Nielsen here, host of Real Estate Pros on Mr. Pros TV, and today we are in our Tempe studio with Dorothy Harrison of Coldwell Banker. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day as a real estate agent and joining me here on Real Estate Pros.
Thank you.
And I gotta say, I really like your business card. This is her business card. I don't know if you guys can see it over there. There it is. Somewhere. Right here. There it is. All right. It's cool because it's more than just a business card. It's got all the information, kind of the experience, and some testimonials. I think a nice little impactful piece. So this is the first time I've seen something like this, so I want to give a shot. I really like it.
Good.
Nice job. Anyways, so for those watching that don't know who you are, we'll give you a couple minutes to introduce yourself. Talk to us about, maybe what you did before pre-real estate, how long you've been in real estate, what interested you in this business, and what has kept you in this business for however long.
I started out as a single parent looking for a job, and I got a job as an apartment manager.
Yeah?
And when they sold the community, I'd already had my real estate license, and I went out with some friends and was looking for a job, and this guy said, well, have you ever thought about real estate? And I thought, well, no. And he said, well, why don't you just come in if you get your license? And I said, well, I've got it. And he says, well, come in and you can start working for me. And I told my mom, and she said, well, just do that until you get a real job.
Oh, gosh.
Well, that was 35 years ago.
So it's been a real job for 35 years,
It's a good job.
Yeah. So what do you like most about working in real estate? What did you do prior to that?
I worked at the phone company.
Oh, okay.
I was a telephone operator.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you like most about working in real estate? Obviously, you've done it for a long time.
The people.
Yeah?
It's all about the people.
Awesome.
And it's meeting people and just making them happy. That's the best part, is when someone gets the house that they want or they get the sale that they want. It's exciting. And I get so emotional in it, you'd think that it was my sale.
Right.
it's fun. To me, it's
fun. So you're
fun.
A matchmaker, you
Yeah.
like to match people with the right property. So have you always done real estate here in Arizona?
No, I was in Texas for up until 2003.
All right. I got a little bit of the Texas accent. I actually grew up in Texas as well.
Whereabouts?
I'm from Dallas, Texas.
Well, I was from Dallas.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you familiar? So my grandma, they had a place down in Ennis and Bristol. Are you familiar? It's like
That's
south. It's kind of like 10-acre. I feel like I kind of grew up on the farm, because it's kind of out
pretty.
there.
It's very rural out there.
Yeah. What area in Dallas?
I worked in Capel. I worked in Frisco. I worked in Arlington. And let's see, who else did I work for? Irving.
Oh, yeah. My dad still works out there. He lives out there. I went to Duncanville High School, so
is that right?
That's pretty close. Pretty close out there. So small world, Texas. So what did you like about Texas real estate, and or what do you like more about Arizona?
It's all the same.
Yeah.
Just a few different law changes, but mostly it's all the same.
Less tornadoes.
Yes, less tornadoes. That's.
I don't miss the tornado sirens. It always kind of freaked me out, and then we'd go hide under our stairs in our house.
I live next door to DFW.
Oh,
that's
really?
Where they all start right there.
Wow,
and they go on
yeah.
up the Red River Valley.
And
I was like, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm tired of this.
So I like the weather here. Not as humid. But so what brought you out to Arizona?
My kids live here.
Oh, nice.
And once they settled down and decided to pick a place to live, they both picked here. So I moved here.
So move here to be around your kids. Awesome.
And went right to work, and probably the hardest part was just finding out the streets, and that was it.
Yeah.
People are people everywhere you go.
I think the biggest, moving from a place like Texas to here, is that the streets, like, you know, when they're like on a grid in a lot of areas, like straight streets, but
You're
a
not
lot of
gonna
in
get
Texas,
lost
it's
here.
like all over the place. Can't figure out where you're going. So.
I was never so lost in my life as trying to figure out what they were doing in Dallas.
Oh man.
Because every time you change cities, they change the name of the street,
Yeah. That's
and you're
right.
you're like, really? Stop.
So you've been at Coldwell Banker since 2003. So talk to us about why you decided to go with Coldwell Banker.
They're internationally known.
Yeah.
They've been in the business over 100 years,
Oh wow.
and they're not trying to reinvent real estate. They're just making it better.
Sure.
I had my own company, and I worked across the street from Coldwell Banker, and it was like David and Goliath. Like,
You were Goliath, right? No, I'm
yeah,
just
right. I just couldn't compete. I mean, they have so many resources and so much money, and they're, you know, they're constantly upgrading, and that, when you're a sole owner, you don't have that luxury.
Sure.
So they have the technology, they've got the relocation department, they're doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives me the opportunity to help everybody. You know, when I'm listing a house, I can give them good coverage. Whereas when your little stores, they give good business, but they can't really compete on the stage. And, you know, we are a destination city. People are moving here all the time. And so we don't know where the next buyer's coming from. And so I need to be out there to where everybody knows, hey, come to me.
Absolutely. So what are some of the things that you do that to get your name out there, you know, as a real estate, so people know to go to you? Are there things, you know, I mean, you can do social media. I mean, there's all kinds of avenues that you can do to build relationships and get to know people better.
My biggest people that give me business are past clients. Most of my referrals, I would say 60% of my business, 70% of my business is from referrals.
Really?
Families, I end up being the family realtor, and they have everybody call me. Oh, it's time to get this one a house, or that one a house, or this one needs to buy a house, and that's fun.
Absolutely. But that's easier said than done, because in order to get referrals, you have to deliver a high level of service to the existing or the client that you service, so that they'd be willing to recommend you to their friends and family. So what do people get when they, you know, hire you, Dorothy, as a real estate agent versus you know, the realtor down the street?
I've always had a motto.
Uh-huh.
There's nothing wrong with their money, so there shouldn't be anything wrong with my service.
All right.
So,
hey, I like
you know,
that.
I start from, you know, when they call, I answer my phone. It doesn't go to this person or that coordinator or this person. It's me.
Right.
People want to talk to you. That's why they hired you.
Mm-hmm.
And I just believe in old-fashioned service. I go to the inspections, I go to the signings, I go to the closings. Afterwards, I call them up, say, what's going on, you know, need anything, especially new people coming to town. They don't know where the hairdresser is. They don't know where the dentist is. They don't know where the mall is. And I give them a list, and I say, here's some people. But if you don't know anybody, call me. Don't be a stranger.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't just a one-shot thing where I grab your commission and out the door I go.
Right.
You know, to me, it's the whole
So
thing.
building the relationship and continuing to add value to that relationship. Now, do you work with a lot of out-of-town buyers or people coming in here, moving from
Yes,
out of
Coldwell
state?
Banker has a very large relocation system.
Oh, okay.
And they have all the major Cardis, Affinity, USAA. I've been a USAA agent since 2004. Navy Federal. I do all of those people when they come in.
Oh, gotcha.
And I was an Army brat.
Ah, you were in the Army, huh?
No, my dad was.
Oh, your dad was.
Uh-huh,
So did you guys move around a lot?
I had 13 schools by the
Oh,
time
my
I was in
goodness.
6th grade.
Oh, wow.
And so I was always the new kid in town. So when they come to town, I know how they feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I just try to make them feel comfortable and say, hey, you know, you got a friend. Here
Yeah,
I
and I
am.
noticed in your business card you had some like relocation certifications, or is that what they call them?
Yeah.
So how do you go about getting those? And
You have
what
to go to classes for those. And each one of the companies make sure that you understand what their program is and how they want things done. Like the listings, we have to turn in a market analysis every other week, which it's not just a regular one. It's about 10 pages long. You know, what's the absorption rate? You know, what's going on? Have you had any people come through? What are the expectations? You know, what are they talking about? So, you know, you have to know exactly what Affinity wants. You have to know what Cardis wants. You have to know what Navy Federal wants. And everybody's got something different. And you have to go to those classes and make sure that you understand when their people come in, you treat them.
So what is the process when you're relocating from another state? Is it like people fly in, you pick them up at the airport, or how does the process usually go?
A lot of times they have a car, and they're in a hotel somewhere, and we just meet up. But I get to talk to them maybe a couple of weeks before.
Gotcha. So
And
you
I
kind of figure out what they are looking for.
And I tell them, you know, what is it that you want, and then I start sending them listings. And you know, it's not that you're going to buy this house. It's just that I want you to get familiar with the prices. This is what your dollar buys you. You know, if they're coming from California, they think they've hit heaven.
Right. The dollar goes a lot longer.
Right, but if they're coming
here.
from the Midwest, you know, they think we're outrageously overpriced.
Right.
So, you know, it just depends on where they're coming from. But usually the corporate people, they're like the Army people. Every 3 or 4 years, they move them around, and so they've got it down to a T. They know what they want, and if you're not receptive to what they want, they'll call up the relo company and say, "Get me somebody else."
Right.
So
how does the process go? So say that they're probably usually coming in town for a short amount of time, right?
3 days
a day
usually.
or a few days.
Yeah, they usually come 3 days.
So is it like you line up all these properties and you just bam, like?
I think my max was 18 in one day.
Oh wow, goodness!
It's like get in, get out. If you don't like it, let's go. We have to, you know, because they're not here to play around. They got to get a house.
Right.
And representing the relocation company, I know that later down the line, that house is going to be sold. So I need to make sure that house is in an area that has good resale value.
Sure.
So why not apply that to everybody?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, that's a lot of houses in a single day. 18 houses. I bet you were tired after that day, huh?
Exhausted.
So how does that work? So then they go back, and then you're the agent. Do you typically find a property that
I find good properties.
Property that they're looking for, right? So then you negotiate the
We
deal.
negotiate.
And
sometimes they stay for the inspection.
oh, okay.
And if not, then maybe a coworker or a friend might go to the inspection so that they can be there for them. And we call them on the phone while we're there and say, you know, this is what we found and blah, blah, blah. And then we have the list of repairs that we ask for from the seller.
Right.
And the seller, you know, we negotiate that out, and then we're off to the races. They're usually very well pre-approved. Everything's in line for them to get this house, even before they get off that airplane. So
relocation is something that is kind of like a specialty or a niche that you feel in real estate. You also do traditional buys and sells in areas. So do you service the entire valley, or do you focus on a certain area?
Valley.
Southeast Valley?
I have to know all the areas because of relocation.
Oh, gotcha.
Chandler's now kind of the Silicon Valley of Arizona now. And we've got all those Intel plants there, and we've got Orbital, and we've got all the spin-off businesses there.
Right.
So, you know, they usually come from Portland, they'll come from Washington, they come from Albuquerque, and they're those are the Intel people.
So you find yourself showing a lot of properties in that area? Well, you kind of live in that area, right?
Yeah.
You said you live in
I live
Seville
in that
area. So.
But you have to know all the neighborhoods. And
absolutely.
Luckily enough, I was there when most of them were built, so I already know them.
Oh, right.
So, you know, you tell me this level, okay, this is where you go. You want this. And right now we're experiencing a very low inventory level.
Right. So are you finding it harder to get homes under property because there's a lot of competition, or?
There's not enough properties to go around. It's a seller's market,
Mm-hmm.
which is pushing the prices up, which, for a long time the poor sellers just had to sit there.
Right.
And now it's
Now it's the seller's turn,
yeah,
right?
it's the seller's turn.
Now the buyers can fight
That's
around.
right.
Try to get the property.
And I had one fella come in, and by the time we didn't get a house for him until the 5th contract.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Because of how competitive.
and we had to bid over the asking price.
Uh-huh.
And we got it, and it was great, and he loves it. But it took us a while to get it. So under 300, you're going to have bidding wars. Over the 300, depending upon where it is and what it is, you'll be pretty safe.
Mm-hmm.
But under 300.
So do you see the real estate market as a whole just continuing on the same trajectory as it's been? I mean, the appreciation per year, it hasn't gone crazy like it did, 05,
No, that's because
06.
the appraisers have kept it in check.
Mm-hmm.
The government put some parameters on the banks and everybody, and basically nobody get away from the appraisers. Leave them alone. Let them do their job. And they come in with their values, and nobody can intimidate them with the values, which is
Sure.
good.
Yeah. Smart.
Keeping the market from going out of control like it did in 05 and 06,
Mm-hmm.
which was crazy.
Right. I remember condos were selling, or anyways, I actually had bought one of those, so it's a sore topic.
I have a lot of people with sore topics.
It's all right. It worked out long term, but anyways, awesome, Dorothy. If somebody watching this is interested in hiring you as a real estate agent in the Southeast Valley, how do people go about getting a hold of you?
I'm at Colwell Banker at Alma School in Queen Creek.
All right.
Phone number is 480-251-7380. Dorothy at dorothyharrison.com.
Awesome. Simple
That's where I'm
enough. So your website then is dorothyharrison.com.
Mm-hmm.
So you can check that out as well. So awesome.
Right.
Thank you so much, Dorothy, for taking time out of your busy day to
All
join me
right.
on Real Estate Pros. And we will see you guys on the next episode.